And welcome back, everybody, to episode 113 of the Marvelite podcast. I am your host this week, Luke, and I am joined with Will.
What's poppin', people? What's going on?
Yeah, apparently Nick is too good for this show now that we have a lot of criticism. Apparently, people hate us, and we're not good at our jobs, and we don't know how to podcast, and we don't know anything about pop culture.
We're bad at being nerds that just talk about things.
Yeah, it's so funny. And, you know, I kind of want to set the record straight a little bit here. It's not that we're like, you know, professional journalists. We're just a bunch of nerds talking about stuff. And that's always been my thing from the beginning. You know, we're just sharing our opinions with you guys. And if you guys have criticisms of us, that's fine. You know, just be polite about it and share your thoughts. And we will do our best to, you know, kick it and answer your questions. But don't put us on blast. Don't come at us. You know, like that. I mean, like, some of the comments we've been seeing are just like...
We just have microphones.
We're just like you. And, you know, these, like, you know, podcasts, they're for opinions. You know, this isn't a news show, you know. I mean, you know, we do have news on the channel where we do report the news, what's going on in the pop culture world. But in terms of podcasts, like, we're just talking. And you know, for some people to just come out and completely trash us is just kind of... I don't know, man. It's just kind of upsetting. But, you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
It's disheartening. I mean, you don't have to agree with us. I'm fine with that. I love reading people's other opinions and takes on, like, the news and how people react to it and everything. But, you know, it is what it is. I guess before we get into our main topics, New Mutants is PG-13 with no costumes. Which no costumes makes sense because of the tone and the context of the movie. Why it's PG-13, I'm not saying that a PG-13 horror movie can't work. It's just uncommon. Especially with how that trailer looked. It looked generic. And it reminded me of a lot of other horror movies like the Friday the 13th or the Nightmare on Elm Street reboots.
Yeah, and I think the film is also going under reshoots, isn't it?
It's being pushed for some reason. I don't know if they came out and said why. It could be reshoots, which is enough time to reshoot and edit a whole movie. Apparently the reception was good, but Kinberg, I think, wasn't satisfied, and I think he wanted it to be great, which that concerns me a little bit more. I'm like, but if it's good, just let it be good, man. Like, let you guys remember how take this W for yourself. I'm like, don't over tweak it. That's what I'm concerned about, and I don't think we'll ever get that original cut.
Probably not.
So I don't know.
Probably not.
I'm wondering why you would need 10 months to tweak a movie that literally took exactly 2 months to shoot. To remember that.
I think that's the problem. I think that's the problem.
But if you filmed a movie in 2 months and people were like, yeah, it was good.
So
I'd be like, shit, man, I'd roll with it.
So, like, with this news, though, is there also news, too, that Kevin Feige is kind of uncertain about the future of the X-Men moving forward at this point, or...
According to him, he also found out about the full, like, merger stuff from the news, and it's above his pay grade, is what he said. And
really?
Yeah, so he doesn't fully know the details of how Disney and Fox are handling the Marvel situation.
Well, there were also reports out recently, too, that literally Disney is putting Kevin Feige in charge of all of the Marvel characters that were at Fox.
That's why when he said this, I'm like...
I'm almost wondering if he wasn't, you know, like, scripted. Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure he's scripted to say stuff like that.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure they just sent him emails like, Kevin, if anyone asks, this is what you say. I don't know. I mean, he could be telling the truth. I think I'm...
Above his pay grade, you know the dude has, like, a net worth of, like, $50 million a year, right?
Yeah, like, I mean, of course he has people that he, like, reports to, like the heads of
I think,
Disney films
who is it, Alan Horn is his direct boss?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure it's Alan Horn.
I'm sure it's like a small committee of some people that work directly for Disney.
I think
like
it was
CEO tier.
I think it is actually because Ike Perlmutter was his direct boss, and then he and
then he got promoted.
And then I think Alan Horn kind of took over. So, but yeah.
Anyways, I believe it's a situation that's above his pay grade. I don't fully believe that he's out of the loop entirely. He could be telling the truth. He probably is. Like, I want to believe him, but I'm just really skeptical for some reason. I think it's because I think it's like my fan blinders like, but I want my X-Men and my Fantastic Four to come over to the MCU and join the party, join the pool party, guys.
Here's the thing. Really, after thinking about it, I don't think that he's telling the truth here. I really don't. I just don't see how that's a possibility.
Disney's just really good at having contingency plans for stuff.
Especially because there's also new reports out that Disney is already meddling in some of the Fox Studios, like what's going on in some of their current movies.
Yeah, that's another rumor floating back. And like people keep saying that don't expect the X-Men anytime soon. And I'm like, I'm not. Like at the earliest 2019, and that's a year and some change away.
I'm expecting, obviously I think we're really going to start seeing tidbits come like as early as Spider-Man Homecoming 2.
Yeah, which isn't until 2019.
Exactly.
Like it's a long while. Like a year is a long time.
Phase 4, who knows what the direction of Phase 4 was going to be, but I'm sure it's going to be a completely different direction now that they have these characters.
Which they've been saying that it may not even be a phase. It's just going to be something is coming after. Like 2020, 2021 with those unreleased movies. Well, not unreleased, untitled Marvel movies that are just scheduled and just exist. Which I think one of them is going to be Guardians 3. Like, it has to be.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Because that one's already confirmed. But I think that's for 2020. So whatever that 2021 is. Could be Fantastic Four, X-Men. It could be something we didn't think about. It could be Doctor Strange 2, Black Panther 2.